Now, we all know there's plenty of climate alarmism at the ABC. We've shown you many times how their journalists, who are required under the ABC Charter to be objective, actually behave like activists and promote an alarmist view of global warming and an ideological and completely implausible view about how to reduce emissions. Now, as if that isn't bad enough that this sort of campaigning is funded by our tax dollars, have a look at how one of those publicly funded types at the ABC is trying to campaign against self-sustaining media, trying to undermine the advertising that funds commercial media. This is a tweet by an ABC weather presenter, Nate Byrne. He shares a clip from Channel 9's Today Show and says he's surprised to see the show go with a fossil fuel company plugging petrol to sponsor its weather segments. He then adds that climate change is largely due to the petroleum industry. Now, just while you let that sink in, here's the clip that he was complaining about.
Today's weather brought to you by Shell V-Power 98, the fuel designed to clean gunk and deliver unbeatable protection for your engine. Details online.
Shell sponsoring a weather segment. That's how Nine makes money, and it's how Shell advertises its brand. And there's hardly a person in the country that doesn't use their products or their stations from time to time. And yet we get this taxpayer-funded weather presenter. So let's just be clear, his wage is paid in part by taxes on fossil fuel companies like Shell and many others. So he thinks he can use his ABC profile to tell commercial media organisations which legal, law-abiding companies that are essential to every aspect of our lives, from food and health to transport and education, he thinks he can dictate which of these companies should be allowed to sponsor private media organisations. And more to the point, he wants to dictate who Nine Media can take money from. The idiocy of this bloke, who broadcasts courtesy of energy largely derived from fossil fuels, whose whole lifestyle has been delivered by fossil fuels, the idiocy of his pronouncement is one thing. And so is the audacity of somebody paid for by taxpayers, supposedly beholden under the ABC Charter to be objective, to use his profile to promote Twitter-level ideological arguments. Well, the audacity of that is another thing. But the main thing is this: the pure selfishness, the pure sense of entitlement, the callousness of someone happy to live life on the coin of the taxpayer, but then to go out and campaign against the commercial rights of companies that pay their way, pay their taxes, and therefore pay his way too. Well, that's just the epitome of self-indulgence, of egocentric indulgence. Nobody is in charge at the ABC, are they? I'll send this clip in as a formal complaint about Byrne's breach of the Charter, breach of the social media guidelines, and breach of faith with the people who pay his wages.